The year was 1896. A year that would be etched into the annals of history forever. The world watched with bated breath as the small yet resilient African nation of Ethiopia prepared for an impending war. The stakes were high, and the air was thick with anticipation. A powerful European empire, Italy, driven by ambitions of expansion and dominance, sought to conquer their land. They underestimated the resolve and unity of the Ethiopian people. Ethiopia, under the astute and visionary leadership of Emperor Menelik II, refused to yield. Menelik was not just a ruler, he was a symbol of resistance and hope for his people. On March 1st, 1896, the two armies clashed near the town of Adwa. The battlefield was a cauldron of chaos, bravery and determination. The Battle of Adwa would become a pivotal moment in African history. It was not just a battle, it was a defining moment that would echo through the ages. It was a resounding victory against the forces of colonialism. The Ethiopian forces, against all odds, emerged victorious, sending shockwaves across the globe. The Battle of Adwa was more than a military engagement. It was a profound statement of defiance and resilience, showcasing the indomitable spirit of the Ethiopian people. It was a testament to the spirit of an entire people, a people united in their quest for freedom and sovereignty. Ethiopians from all walks of life came together, united by a common cause to defend their homeland. Their unity was their strength. They fought valiantly for their freedom and independence, knowing that their victory would secure a future free from colonial rule. Their victory at Adwa resonated far beyond the borders of Ethiopia. It was a beacon of hope for oppressed nations everywhere. It served as an inspiration for future generations of Africans fighting for liberation. The Battle of Adwa remains a powerful symbol of resistance and triumph over oppression. The late 19th century was a time of aggressive European expansion. Nations across Europe were driven by a desire for new territories, resources, and global influence. This period, often referred to as the scramble for Africa, saw European powers racing to carve up the African continent among themselves. European powers scrambled to claim territories in Africa. They sent troops, diplomats, and explorers to establish their presence and stake their claims. The competition was fierce, with each nation trying to outdo the others in acquiring land and resources. Italy, a newly unified nation, was eager to join the colonial race. Having only recently achieved unification in 1861, Italy was looking to assert itself on the global stage. The Italian government and its people saw colonial expansion as a way to gain prestige and economic benefits. They saw an opportunity in the Horn of Africa. This region, with its strategic location and potential for trade, was particularly appealing to the Italians. They believed that controlling this area would enhance their influence in the region and provide a gateway to further expansion. Ethiopia, with its ancient history and rich culture, became a prime target for Italian ambitions. The Italians were fascinated by Ethiopia's long-standing traditions and its reputation as a powerful and independent kingdom. They saw it as both a challenge and a prize. Italy's initial attempts to penetrate Ethiopia were met with resistance. The Ethiopian people, proud of their heritage and sovereignty, were determined to defend their land. However, the Italians persisted, driven by their colonial ambitions and the belief that they could eventually succeed. They used a combination of diplomacy and military pressure. Italian diplomats tried to negotiate treaties and alliances, while their military strategists planned invasions and occupations. The goal was to weaken Ethiopia from within and make it easier to conquer. Their goal was to weaken Ethiopia and establish their dominance. They aimed to disrupt the internal stability of the Ethiopian kingdom, hoping that internal strife would make it easier for them to take control. They sought to control trade routes and exploit the region's resources. The Horn of Africa was rich in natural resources and strategically located along important trade routes. Controlling these would provide significant economic advantages to Italy. The Italians believed that Ethiopia would fall easily under their control. They underestimated the strength and resilience of the Ethiopian people, thinking that their superior military technology and tactics would guarantee a swift victory. They underestimated the resolve of the Ethiopian people. The Ethiopians, led by their determined leaders and fueled by a deep sense of national pride, were prepared to fight fiercely to protect their sovereignty and way of life. In 1889, Italy and Ethiopia signed the Treaty of Wuchale, a document that was supposed to solidify their diplomatic relations and ensure mutual cooperation. However, this treaty would soon become a source of significant discord between the two nations. This treaty, meant to be a diplomatic agreement, became a point of contention. The seeds of discord were sown in the very language of the treaty, which was drafted in both Italian and Amharic, the official language of Ethiopia. The Italian version of the treaty declared Ethiopia an Italian protectorate, implying that Ethiopia was under the control and protection of Italy. This was a significant assertion of dominance by Italy. This meant that Italy would control Ethiopia's foreign affairs, effectively reducing Ethiopia's sovereignty and making it a puppet state in the eyes of the international community. The Amharic version, however, stated that Ethiopia could choose to consult with Italy on foreign matters, but was not obligated to do so. This version preserved Ethiopia's autonomy and independence. This discrepancy in translation was no accident. It was a deliberate attempt by the Italians to create a situation they could exploit to their advantage. The Italians deliberately used ambiguous language, hoping that the confusion would allow them to assert control over Ethiopia without immediate resistance. They sought to exploit the situation to their advantage, aiming to expand their colonial empire in Africa and gain a strategic foothold in the region. Emperor Menelik II, however, refused to be manipulated. He was a shrewd and determined leader who understood the implications of the treaty's language. He denounced the Italian interpretation of the treaty, making it clear that Ethiopia would not accept any form of subjugation or loss of sovereignty. He rallied his people to resist Italian encroachment, calling upon the strength and unity of the Ethiopian nation to defend their independence. The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the fate of Ethiopia. This clash would not only shape the future of the nation, but also send ripples through the colonial ambitions of European powers in Africa. Emperor Menelik II was a shrewd and determined leader. He understood the gravity of the threat posed by the Italians. He moved swiftly to unify the various Ethiopian kingdoms and provinces under his banner. Menelik knew that a divided Ethiopia would be vulnerable to Italian aggression. Menelik's call for unity resonated throughout Ethiopia. People from all walks of life answered his call to arms. Farmers, artisans, priests, and even rival princes set aside their differences to defend their homeland. This unity, forged in the face of adversity, would prove to be a decisive factor in the Battle of Adwa. Section 5, Clash at Adwa, the Ethiopian advantage on the battlefield. The Italian army, under the command of General Oreste Baratieri, marched towards Adwa. They were confident in their superior weaponry and training. They believed victory would be swift. They underestimated the terrain and the determination of their opponents. The Ethiopians, familiar with the rugged terrain, used it to their advantage. They strategically positioned themselves on the high ground. From these vantage points, they could rain down fire on the advancing Italians. The Ethiopians fought with courage and ferocity. They were determined to repel the invaders. Section 6. A resounding victory, the Italians crumble before Ethiopian determination. The Battle of Adwa raged for hours. The Ethiopians, despite being outnumbered and outgunned, fought with unwavering resolve. They launched wave after wave of attacks, pushing back the Italian advance. The Italians, demoralized by the fierce Ethiopian resistance and their own heavy losses, began to retreat. The retreat soon turned into a rout. The Ethiopians pursued the fleeing Italians, inflicting heavy casualties. By the end of the day, the Italian army had been decisively defeated. Thousands of Italian soldiers lay dead or wounded on the battlefield. The rest were captured or had fled in disarray. Section 7. The Price of Freedom, Adwa's Martyrs and the Legacy of Resistance. The victory at Adwa came at a high cost. Thousands of Ethiopians made the ultimate sacrifice defending their homeland. Their bravery and sacrifice are etched in the annals of Ethiopian history. They are remembered as national heroes. The memory of Adwa serves as a reminder that freedom is not free. It must be defended with courage and determination. The sacrifices made at ADWA inspire future generations to safeguard their hard-won independence. They are a testament to the indomitable spirit of the Ethiopian people. Section 8 Adwa's echoes, an enduring symbol of African resistance and sovereignty. The victory at ADWA sent shockwaves throughout Africa and the world. It shattered the myth of European invincibility. It proved that a united and determined African force could defeat a major European power. ADWA became a beacon of hope for those struggling against colonial rule. Adwa's legacy extends far beyond the battlefield. It serves as a powerful symbol of African resistance, resilience, and self-determination. It is a reminder that African nations have a long and proud history of fighting for their freedom and shaping their own destiny. Section 9. Ethiopia Enduring, a legacy forged in the fires of ADWA. The Battle of Adwa was a pivotal moment in Ethiopian history. It secured Ethiopia's sovereignty. It ensured its place as a beacon of independence on the African continent. The victory at ADWA instilled a sense of national pride and unity that continues to this day. Ethiopia, shaped by the legacy of ADWA, continues to stand tall. It is a symbol of African resistance to colonialism. It is a testament to the power of unity and determination in the face of adversity. The spirit of ADWA continues to inspire generations of Ethiopians and people of African descent around the world.